steaming inside my bones. It goes.
Strange sounds this evening. Cold as it always does blows strangely through the hills. An old man's bones are weary, cold, and shaky. Much like the spirits grow closer through the veil of the world in wintertime. Who am I? Poor German peasant in my poor German hut, surrounded by things that no one can understand. Oh, and I talk to myself sometimes because my family abandons me. You hear that, candle? You must listen to my ramblings more than anyone in this world. And still you burn on. It's nice in here, Pete. Heinrich!
Grandfather.
Why do you move so quickly this evening? Don't you know that
It's time for the workday to be over.
you carried that with you all day?
Carried it so I would know when it was time to come home.
You foolish boy.
Why?
Don't you understand the jostling
No.
is going to change it?
What?
You're an hour late.
How do you know?
I know. The wind's howling through the hills, making strange music. If the wind ever invites you to dance, do not do so.
I don't dance. I'm not.
For the wind is a seductress and will pull you into the hills and swallow you in a cave like a mouth. And there the mountain gnomes will feast on your bones and play songs with your feet.
I want my feet to be
Lure other
instruments.
little boys into their trap.
My feet can't be instruments. I need good feet so I can march.
So don't dance with the wind. And don't play about with time, or time will play about with you.
Who's playing?
Heinrich.
There's no time.
He
playing.
carried the timepiece all day long.
It was foolish. You could have broken it.
I didn't want to be late, Aunt Katja.
Well, that is admirable.
Gotcha.
Yes.
How were your wanderings today?
I do not wander. I take walks with a purpose.
And how were your purposeful walks?
I achieved my purpose.
And what was your purpose? Humor an old man who cannot walk much anymore.
I went to check on the tomato plants, see that they were coming in correctly.
Are they?
Yes. I patrolled the perimeter to make sure no one had come in.
Had they?
Patrolled the perimeter. You've been listening to Heinrich and his talks of war too much.
Important. It's important to secure the perimeter. If you don't secure the perimeter, you don't know who's there.
Come
on, guys.
I went to visit the bishop and discuss matters of great spiritual importance with him.
Spiritual importance. We do everything that's required of us. We hang the horseshoe above the door. We leave milk out for gremlins. What more is there to do with spiritual importance?
Those are superstitions. I'm talking of real spiritual importance.
Oh, real spiritual.
The Virgin Mary.
Yes.
Her blessings that she bestows on those who are faithful.
I don't understand why we should give so much credence to someone who's still a virgin.
Ha!
You're young, you'll understand.
Come on, sunshine and sunflower.
One even younger than you, I fear will never understand anything.
Idle.
Sunny.
Idle's a distraction. He's very distracted.
I can hear them now naming all the goats. How many times must I tell that boy, you don't give food names. It leads to suffering.
You give food names.
How so?
You
Goodbye,
named that bit
love.
of cheese.
I hope that you don't freeze to death in the nighttime, or that a great beast doesn't come and claim you as its brides.
And the piece of bread that was left over last week, you gave that a name.
That's because those bits of food were possessed with spirits. And they whispered their names to me in my sleep. What? It's normal. It happens.
Hello, Heidel.
Heinrich?
Heidel.
And Katja, grandfather? Do I not get a greeting?
Heidel.
Hello, Heidel.
Hello, Heidel.
Put the goats away.
That is your one and only job, and you do it well.
One day we will trust you to take the goats out, but for now, we will just bring them back in. It's safer that way. Who knows where you take the goats on your fanciful adventures?
Grandfather was telling me
To the
about the
stream.
wind.
To the stream.
Did you hear the wind whistling through the trees?
Always.
Playing their strangely rhythmic music?
I thought it sounded nice.
You take that back.
Grandfather, he's young. He doesn't understand.
The music of the wind isn't nice!
Grandfather.
It leads us to our death!
Grandfather.
It's killed thousands! Thousands of years! Every maligned spirit that cannot find a
Is that
home
how?
eventually swirls around that mountain.
Is that how mother and father died?
Hungering, no!
Where did mother and father? Why are they? Where? How?
Did
They're
the
just
wind
away
kill
on a
them?
long trip.
Just away.
It's a really long trip. Where do you think they went?
Never you mind. They left you in my charge,
They go to
and
Russia.
I'll teach you everything you need to know.
They go to China.
Don't get ideas.
They go to Britain.
Join up with some mercenary gang and travel to China to look for your parents.
Madagascar. They go to Madagascar.
How could they go to Madagascar?
Boat.
How did you learn about Madagascar?
I saw a map. I was planning my next attack. I was planning my first attack.
You've got war on the brain.
I don't have war on the brain. I am doing my duty on the brain. And for a young man, that means going to war.
Where's dinner?
It's under your seats. A little bit of stew. Don't look for meat. You'll find none. Can't eat these goats. They have names.
Can we eat them if we forget their names?
Yes, and I'm waiting
They're
anxiously
not big
for
enough.
that.
They're still small. They have little furry faces and shiny eyes you can touch with your finger.
Can we eat their furry faces and shiny eyes?
Are you touching fingers with your eyes with your fingers again?
You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that. There was a woman who touched eyes with her fingers.
Grandpa, not
No, there was.
Is this a story? You telling a story?
Is it story time?
It could be. It sounds disgusting. It's fine. It was a year ago tomorrow. Happened a long, long time ago, 3 weeks from now. She wasn't a witch, though you might think she was.
I thought she was. I thought all women are witches.
Not that sort of witch. No.
Sorry.
What have you been telling him?
This woman lived alone in a farmhouse. Her father had died, her older brother had died, her twin had died, her younger brother had died.
Did she kill him? Sounds like everyone who knows her died.
No, they all died by accident.
Is she dead?
Tragically, through
is-
non-super.
Is this a story?
This is me.
Is this a story where she's dead the whole time?
No, that would be massively disappointing. She was alive, but sad.
The lady at the farmhouse?
The lady in the farmhouse.
Touched eyes?
Yeah, not yet. Well, when someone is alone for a very long time, they have time to think. They have curious ways. And she would see people very rarely. Only once in a while when she went to market to get essential items. And even then her language was strange and stilted.
Bread, peace. Please, one loaf.
We got loaves.
Yes,
Do you see
one.
her? Father had taught her the names of things before he died, but not the bits of language that connect words.
2 coin. I do not bite. I have a family.
Thank you.
Pickled herring?
There were few things in this world that she still loved, but pickled herring was a personal favorite. And so she took it home with her, laid it on her table, and late at night would stare into its glassy eyes. And it wasn't long before she began touching those eyes, rubbing those eyes, gently caressing those eyes.
Grandfather, this story's making me feel funny.
I know! That's why I'm telling it to you! And lo and behold, what do you think happened when she touched the eyes?
I went blind.
It's like
It was dead, so no.
It smelled like a fish.
No, it had already done that.
it talks.
It talked!
It talked.
Someone pays attention to most of the stories I tell.
Me.
It's you, my lord. And not only did it speak, but it spoke with the voice of her younger brother. Long dead these many 10 years.
I have been dead.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Wilhelm.
Yes. It is I, in fish form. I have searched the seas to find you, but I forgot that you did not live in the sea. Then I coerced a fisherman to catch me, and then I coerced a pickleman to pickle me, and then I coerced the fishmonger to mong me, all so I could find you.
What a stroke of luck that I did not eat you.
And he told her where to go to find her twin brother.
You have a twin brother.
Yes, he's dead.
No! 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 Your twin brother yet lives.
Where is he?
Do you know the mountains off in the distance? The ones that no one has yet traversed.
Yes.
You must traverse them.
It's a long and arduous journey.
That is correct. You must prepare for the journey.
I will take you with me, and also some provisions. A few herbs, a potion or two.
But she was not a witch. She just knew how to make potions. Cast the occasional spell.
Sounds like a witch, Grandpa.
Just because a man makes armor does not make him an armorer. I make stew. Am I a stew mason?
Yes.
No. I'm a grandfather. And so she set forth, strapped the pickled herring to her belt, and it gave her advice from time to time.
Do not touch that snake.
And yet she could not help it. The snake reared up to protect its territory.
Do not touch that snake's eyes.
And she
Do not touch that snake in the eyes.
I don't get you guess what she did next.
Touch it in the eye.
She did! Both eyes! And when she did, do you know what it did? It spoke!
No, sorry about that.
It spoke with the voice of her older brother!
All right. Sorry about that.
Jacob!
Yes, sweet sister.
My brother, my older brother.
Yes, Greta.
I thought you were dead.
It is I, Jacob.
Yes, I know. I can tell you from your voice.
Hello,
even
Jake.
even in the form.
Hello, Wilhelm.
What a strange sight! A pickled herring and a snake talking to each other along the road. And Jacob yet told of all the lengths he had gone through to be with her in this precise moment.
Then there was a tangle of vines. Went through that. Then there was a bunch of lakes. Swam across those.
Yes.
There was a bird and I jumped on it and wore a necklace for the bird until the bird brought me here. And now I've stood waiting, making my eyes wide and tantalizing so that you would want to touch them.
Jacob, you know me so well.
And Jacob told her what her twin brother
Your
was
twin
up to.
brother is alive in the mountains.
But also what he was doing there.
He's there looking for the king's gold.
The king's gold.
Hmm.
There is a story that is hidden there in the mountains, but that none can find it.
You know this because he knows this.
Yes, we are connected.
And so she strapped the snake to her belt and journeyed on. And And the snake and the herring gave her advice from time to time.
Should stay hydrated. It's easy to forget that, as you're walking along, you just think, oh, I don't need to drink any water, and then before you know it, there's not any water around. So drink it while you see it, that's what I'm saying.
So true. I'll stop here at the stream.
So she stopped in the stream, and the fattest frog she'd ever seen was resting by the stream. Its eyes, as you might imagine, were quite large and tempting to anyone who's gotten in the habit of touching eyeballs, which she had.
No! Oh.
She touched the eyes.
Why?
And well, that just turned out to be a frog. No, I'm kidding. It was the voice of her father.
Oh, it is I, Greta, your father.
Father?
Yes.
I would know your voice anywhere.
Oh, good. You should know it.
Heinrich, wake up. This story's for your benefit.
I'm awake!
Oh, what a sad state for our family, is it not? Your brother's there on your belt, and your twin brother in the mountains looking for the king's gold.
Yes, Father, and you a frog.
I a frog, but a fat one, am I not?
You're a fat frog!
I am a fat frog.
Fatty frog.
You don't ride enough. Wilhelm, Jacob, Greta.
Yes, Father.
So the father had Greta hop on his back.
All right.
It's a family reunion!
And with much speed, they arrived. It was perfectly natural, where it was a large frog and capable of travel, and there was nothing weird about it.
Grandfather!
Yes.
Because it was a large frog, was it able to hop up the mountain and get Greta to the top of the mountain where the mountain people...
You heard this story.
No, I'm just guessing from context clues.
And so was what?
Frog.
And so they arrived. And just in time, too, for the twin brother had a sack of gold and was surrounded by mountain people.
It's yours. I was being him earlier.
All right, cool. Well, you cannot take my gold, mountain people. I've earned it.
I've earned it by traversing the mountain and digging and finding it. All right. What if I...
And so the snake and the pickled herring and the frog and Greta quickly conferred and came up with a brilliant plan. And they decided to use all of them to free their brother. And so Greta threw the pickled herring at a mountain man. And as it flew through the air, it said,
I'm gonna kill you!
and it ate off his nose, and the man bled.
Wait, grandfather! Yeah.
Gruesomeness of it.
Paint the picture, man.
Grandfather.
These details of death are very important. They must be honored.
No one likes them more than I just thought maybe I've been telling the story for a while.
Nah, it's fine.
Some stories are long.
Some are long, some are short.
Have to
This one
sleep
happens to be a
sometime.
long one. No, we're not gonna sleep. Get to the gory bits. Come on.
Slowly, glistening, covered in pickly juice and fish detritus, the younger brother flew through the air and wrapped its scaly, fishy body tight about the mountain man's neck. You would expect this to be the snake's attack. But no, the fish had that honor of strangulation. As the mountain man turned blue and the life essence began to pour out of him and eventually haunt the mountains in the nearby neighborhood. The fish pecked his eyes out and bit his nose off, and the mountain man bled and died in 3 days.
Advance! What'd the snake do?
She then threw the snake, and through the air it flew as straight as an arrow to another mountain man. And it like a spear, shot straight through the brain pan of the man, who died instantly. For without a brain, a man cannot live. Without a soul, he can live many years. But that's neither here nor there.
What'd the frog do?
She didn't need to lift the frog because it was real big. But the frog took a mighty leap and swallowed the third and final mountain man whole. It was gruesome and delicious. Many years later, that mountain man would return as a fly to pester the family, but that's a story for another time. Why not? Finally, if Greta and her twin brother.
Greta. I've the king's gold. Well, it's my gold, our gold now.
You are alive.
I am.
You are all the treasure I could have hoped for. I have walked very long and very far to get here.
You were very brave. I'm the only other person who's been able to make it up here.
I did not do it alone, though. I had the help of Father and our
Oh,
brothers.
son.
Oh! Shit! I did not recognize him, for he is very fat.
He was always so skinny in life. It is good that he could be fat as
It
a
is nice
frog.
to be a fat frog. I eat at least 100 flies a day.
And so with the gold, they bought a home fancier than anything they could ever imagine. And their work being done, the snake ate the pickled herring, the frog ate the snake,
Who ate the frog, grandfather?
and the brother and sister roasted the frog, and their first meal brought their family finally back home to live in their bellies, and they felt as if they were with them for the rest of their lives.
Do you feel guilty about eating our father?
No.
Neither do I.
It's what he
Now,
would have
this
wanted.
may seem like a happy ending of sorts,
It does seem like a happy ending, which is surprising. Most of your stories have terrible, awful endings.
but I should warn you that the sister Greta never lost her obsession for touching eyes.
Oh, no.
And the eyes of any animal she touched would speak to her, and they caused many problems throughout their life. The end.
Grandfather?
Yes, I'm Rick. That is why you should never touch eyes.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask what the moral of that story
That was a nice one. I like that.
I like that one. That was good.
Except for they ate the family, which were nice animal friends.
Yeah, the nice animal friends got eaten.
When your work is done, the best you can do is give life to other people.
You're saying when you die, Grandfather, you want us
We're
to
gonna
eat
eat 'em.
you?
If you need to! If it's so snowed in that you can't leave and the goats still have names, then yes, eat me. Not now!
We eat the body of Jesus, and that is a good thing as well.
That's disgusting.
It's a cracker, Aunt Katja. It's a cracker.
It's not real, Aunt Katja.
It
Let her
is.
have her delusions.
It is real. It's not a delusion.
What's real is evil spirits swimming in the air around the mountain, making strange music to
No.
lure us into their mouth
No,
caves.
I will tell you a story that is real. Once there was a young man who worked hard.
What's his
every
name?
day.
Jesus?
No, his
Sorry.
name was Eric.
What did Eric do?
He worked hard every day in the field.
Are you guys so stew with meat in it?
He found me.
No, did he?
Oh, did he?
Yes, sometimes he did. Sometimes he just had vegetables or a bit of fat in his stew. But he would work the fields every day and hoe the lines and plant the seeds and grow the crops and then harvest them. And he went on like this for many years. And he grew old and he grew tired. And then one day, as he was out working in the fields, he felt he could not move another muscle before he would give out in exhaustion.
I can't hoe another line.
And at that moment, he thought he was alone, but he was not. For the Virgin Mary heard him,
What?
and she came down.
She's just hanging out in fields.
She is always watching and listening. The Virgin Mary came down, and she put her hand on his head, and he began to cry blood.
Is it my time at last, Mother Mary?
And she said not a word. She touched his head again.
Have I lived a good life?
And,
Are these blood tears signs that I am dying?
and red roses began to pour from his mouth.
Oh, these roses are my reward for being a family man who never complained.
And she touched him once more. And a red light burst from his chest.
Is this the light I have to follow into heaven as I bleed blood and spit roses?
And the Virgin Mary opened the clouds and he could see up into heaven. And there he saw all the souls of the baptized children.
That's nice.
And she closed the clouds up again.
What now?
And she left him. And later that night when he told his wife what had happened,
Honey, the planting can stop.
he
I've been blessed by the Virgin Mary.
The roses and the blood and the light all stopped as soon as the Virgin Mary left. It was quite normal at this time.
Oh, sorry. I was bleeding blood, and a great light, but not the light of heaven, was bursting out of my chest, and I was vomiting up roses. All as a reward from the Virgin Mary for living a just life, I assume. She didn't say anything. Oh, and she showed me all the baptized babies in heaven, and then closed it up real quick.
And that night, his wife prayed for him and his soul. The end.
What?
That is a true story.
What?
I liked it.
I got a couple questions. Why did the Virgin Mary show up just to show him heaven with all the babies and then close it again? Actually, my second question.
She's a witch too, is she not?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
She's not.
My second question.
She is a witch.
The second question is a little broader. Why did any of that happen?
This is something I agree with Gotcha on. The world is a strange and mysterious place. And things that you think you can trust, you cannot. And things happen to us, mere mortals, that we cannot explain, cannot control.
Everything can be explained.
And the gods especially can be cruel. Sure, Jesus and Mary have been popular for a while, but I bet they're just as tricksy and fucked up as all the other gods. Sorry, I got worked up.
Grandfather.
For once I worshipped Nemo the ice god and have nothing but a broken pinky to show for it.
You're all, what?
Oh, the ice god.
No, Nemo.
Nemo?
Yes?
I've heard tell of Nemo.
Well, I worship.
People at the tavern talk of Nemo whenever winter comes. They drink big flagons of ale.
Yeah, flagons.
Flagons of ale.
What do you know of flagons?
I watch
know
them
about
through the
flagons.
window.
I go there sometimes.
I watch through the window.
I go there sometimes.
I watch all kinds of people do all kinds of
I
things.
go there.
I know watches Berta, the barmaid, mostly.
Who?
Berta, the barmaid.
You watch Berta the barmaid? What
No.
do you know of Berta the barmaid?
Nothing.
She has good flagons.
She has hair.
All right.
She
This
has,
Hideout isn't innocent, but when you say flagons, I know what you mean.
she has hair the color of the sun. And when and she's got several animals that come to her. There's a bird that sits on her shoulder.
Sometimes there's music.
Idle, that's surely not true.
It could be a parrot.
I'm gonna make her my wife.
Parrots on their shoulder.
I'm gonna go off and be a victorious warrior. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make her my wife.
No, you cannot leave.
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back.
You think she wants
gotta
a
come back.
dead boy for her
I'm not gonna be a dead boy. I'm gonna be a living
You'd go
man.
off to war, you will? Look at your arms.
No, I'm gonna be a living man. I'm gonna come back with animal pelts and the skulls of my enemies.
Listen to me. No one who leaves to go off to war comes back.
That's not true.
Either they die or they're so changed that they don't wish to return.
That's
and
not
they
true.
dishonor their family.
I've heard something different.
You think if you see war and in China or wherever, you'll think, I must come back to that barmaid and take care of my grandfather, whose disposition, while pleasant, is occasionally upsetting.
No, I do not think those things, but I do know there are stories of soldiers who've gone off to war and then come back and been quite victorious.
I don't want you to bring back skulls of people.
I'll put them in a bag. I'll only show them to you.
Not every bag I'll ever see. I'll think
Might have skulls in them.
it.
It's true. It is wise to think that every bag you see may contain the skull of your enemy.
Thank you for remembering some of the lessons I've taught you.
Many years ago, before there were seasons, there was a man who went off to war. His name was Peter. And Peter was not a man like other men. No, Peter had no family. Therefore, he had no family to fail to return to. Peter, every day, he dreamt of war, and he dreamt of mighty stallions that he would ride off to war. And he was covered in armor that he carved himself out of a tree. Yes, he had wood armor. He carved it himself, and every time he took a step, the armor shook, and he felt it shake into his very heart. And also, the armor was kind of pointy and full of splinters, so he had lots of splinters in him.
Sounds foolish to have wood on.
He forgot to put the undercoating on, so it was just anyway. It was fine. One day, he was marching through a field, and off in the distance, he saw an ox. The ox had hiccups. The ox approached. And the ox was stupid. The ox had a giant head.
Heinrich!
What? Okay, the ox had a normal-sized head for an ox. And this man named Peter, who very much wanted to be a warrior, pulled out his sword. And he chopped the ox's head off. The ox's head flew away. And so the headless ox stood there. And having no longer...
Is that effective at all? No? Yeah, alright, just pretend.
And this ox, having no head, had no way of being killed. And so therefore was the perfect traveling companion for Peter. And so they walked through the land. And they walked, and they walked. And Peter had to say which way to go because the ox couldn't see.
Continue forward. Good. My name is Peter, and I wish to be a great warrior one day. And I will find that for myself. My father, my brothers, none of them great men, but I will be. I will.
Yeah, Peter knew what he wanted because Peter was smart. And Peter marched.
I've had some schooling.
He had some schooling. He could write. He could make his mark.
Right.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. I can write, though. Read things as well.
And they walked for weeks. And then weeks became months. And months became years. And Peter grew older, but not decrepit old like you, grandfather. Old and distinguished with a giant flowing beard that would have been the envy of Zeus or Thor or Pericles.
You're making up this story.
No, I'm not. I'm not making it up. It's a story I heard in the tavern. I was in the tavern and someone was telling a story and I wrote it down.
That was gonna be exciting. They're just walking.
It's very exciting. It's going to be exciting. Wait for it. And so they walked for many times and they saw a castle in the distance.
Castle.
And as Peter made up his mind to storm the castle with his ox, a great rift in the earth opened up, and the earth shook, and the earth quaked, and the earth quook, and a great chasm opened up, and it led all the way down, and it separated Peter from the ox.
Oh.
The ox did not know what was happening, for it had no head and no eyes, but it sensed something was wrong. Its giant head was elsewhere, separated from the oxen's body, probably being used as a swimming pool, where it was quite large. And So Peter decided he needed to be reunited with his oxen. And to do that, he must go down into the chasm.
The ox in the chasm.
What?
Is the ox in the chasm?
No, the ox is on the other side of the chasm.
So I
You gotta go through the chasm.
Am I gonna call it a bird or something?
Look, it's not that complicated. Ox on one side of the chasm. He's on the other. You gotta go down, then through, and then back up the other side.
If you look in the chasm, you can't see the bottom.
But
You
there's
said
a,
I was a smart man.
You're a smart man.
All right.
You care about your ox.
All right. You're telling the stories.
Yep. So Peter started to climb all the way down the chasm. And he climbed, and he climbed, he climbed, and there were creatures.
We're made of lava.
This is an owl. There were owls and ostriches made of lava. But Peter was not scared, for Peter was a strong warrior.
Nah, seen it.
And he got splashed in lava, and the lava started to burn his armor, for it was made of wood, which I mentioned previously.
Many years
good
old,
job
wood and lava.
using an old detail and then incorporating it later when it was relevant.
You taught me well, grandfather. It's called reincorporation.
I don't care what it's called. Good job.
All right. And the armor all burned off. And
All right.
as I also mentioned previously, the armor was all he was wearing. So now Peter was stark-ass naked.
You're welcome.
And at the bottom of the chasm, there was a lava monster.
So I'm looking to go back up the way I came, but just slightly over and up that wall. So I thought I'd just come down here. So if you could just let me through. I mean to be a great warrior.
Because Peter, in his heart, was a great warrior, there was nothing that he could do to convince the lava monster to let him through.
me
So
through.
he had to use his brute force and his sword. And in so doing, the sword became red hot. You still hold it. It's fine. You still hold it. You still got it.
Great.
But it's now a sword of fire. Peter thought this was the funniest joke he ever heard. So Peter traversed the other side of the bottomless cavern. Chasm. Sorry, Grandfather, I got stuck on a
Are you
word.
sick?
Yeah, I'm a little sick. And he climbed and he climbed and he climbed, and his beard grew. And his beard grew. His beard grew till he was covered in beard, which was good because it covered his shame.
Pretty good. There we go. Some slack. So we test it out. Good.
And he climbed, and he got up to the other side of the chasm, and
Here
the ox was gone.
Oh.
Peter had spent so much time messing around in the chasm.
Should have just taken a bird across the path.
There are no birds back then. This was a long time ago. I mean, there were owls, obviously, but there were no birds that could carry you across a chasm.
Come on.
So,
Heinrich?
no, I remember now. The castle that was off in the distance. He could see the ox hanging out.
There you go. Well, you went a little bit ahead.
So he went to the castle. And he knocked.
Come in.
And when he got to the castle, he found that the ox was sitting on the throne.
You took so long.
Also, the ox had a head again.
I had the blacksmith make me a new head.
He had to match the other one, so it's really big. It's proportionate to the size of the ox. It's got a big head.
I've never
And a
had a
quite
problem.
articulate head. And in that time, I convinced them that I was the best ox to be king. Here I am, the ox king with a metal head.
I have a flaming sword.
So the ox.
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm just,
We've been friends and companions all these many years.
I'm showing it to you.
Guards!
What?
So the guards swarmed Peter, but Peter had a fire sword, so he cut them all down one by one. All of them. There were piles of bodies everywhere. And Peter grabbed each of their skulls and put it in a bag. And he was carrying bags of skulls around, because that's what warriors do. So he had a skull bag. And after many, many weeks of fighting, they were all dead. And the ox realized... What?
Oh, yeah, okay.
You could go for it.
Tell me if I'm doing what you were
All right, go for it. You know.
By killing all of my guards, you have reminded me what a great warrior and true friend you were all those many years when we fought together.
This is logical and reasonable.
And so I believe that me being just a dead ox with a metal head, you should be king.
This is not how the story goes.
How does the story go?
No, the ox put him into a barrel full of nails. And
So
rolled
I'm
him
going to
down the
put
hill.
you in a barrel full of nails and roll you down the hill until you die.
And so Peter was nailed into a barrel full of nails and pushed down a long hill that eventually fell down the chasm and bounced forever, where he still is today. And so this somehow proves that being a warrior doesn't mean you leave home forever.
I don't think that you proved your point, Heinrich.
I think I proved my...
That guy Peter was
Heinrich,
not a nice man.
What
you shouldn't try to change the endings to make them happy.
I didn't like the original ending.
Stories are like spirits. They want to be what they are.
Right.
And if you change the endings, you anger them. And your story will not end happily.
But what about a story that's already supposed to be happy?
What was the story supposed to be happy?
That's fine.
Once upon a time.
Why no one asked you to start a story? There's no point. It's time for bed.
No!
Good night.
Once upon a time there was a peppermint stick.
What?
A peppermint stick?
You've never
A
seen
piece
a peppermint stick. You've never tasted
A
it.
peppermint stick, a piece of string, and a blade of grass. And they were all the bestest of friends, and they lived in a bird's nest.
All right, I think I've heard this one.
Yeah! So the peppermint stick was the biggest one. The piece of string was the reasonable one.
Well, and we can just talk about it.
And the blade of grass only spoke in rhyme.
I'm doing fine most of the time.
Some slant rhyme and some regular rhyme.
Oh.
I think it's basically a rhyme. I'm sure the blade of grass is trying his best.
Hey, I have an idea.
The peppermint stick was so sweet, because it's not only tasting sweet, but very nice.
I have an idea.
What is it, peppermint stick?
Let's all hug.
And most of the time, that is what they did. They would sit in the bird's nest, hug, taste each other.
Everyone hug a peppermint stick. Go on. Good, bring it in.
I think it's good for friends to hug. And I'll say it again with a shrug. I think it's good for friends to hug.
I agree with you.
For a
Blade of grass?
Blade of grass, you're my favorite poet.
But then one day, a great winged bird with the eyes of a devil creature
Oh, winged bird.
came by,
Winged bird.
swooped down,
No, no.
and picked up the blade of grass.
Oh, good. I thought it was going to be me.
Oh no! A bird has got me now! You've got to save me! Save me
Oh, blade of grass! String and peppermint stick have never been so upset, and they did the things that a string and a peppermint stick would do if they were upset. Their friendship was broken up. They could see with their string eyes and their peppermint sticky eye pieces that it was a great nest, much greater than the one that they were in, not too far against the largest stream.
Look, over there in that tree by the stream.
Oh.
That large, large nest.
Hello?
Surely that is the home of the large, large bird.
Durr.
The peppermint stick wasn't that dumb.
I like it. I think it's funny.
All right, we should go rescue Blade of Grass because my life is without poetry, and a life without poetry is not one worth living.
But first we must have a plan.
All right.
And in that, string pulled itself into 3 pieces.
Oh, Jesus. Hi.
Peppermint Stick broke itself in half
Oh, crap.
and was dead.
Now, we'll tie a piece of peppermint to a piece of string and then throw them out into the nest, and then the bird will be distracted, and then we can rescue Blade of Grass.
The string pieces did not need to talk together, but they liked to do it anyway.
It just feels better this way.
And they sang a little song.
Oh,
let's
go rescue Blade of Grass. Blade of Grass! Let's go rescue Blade of Grass. Blade of
And
Grass!
Peppermint Stick dead on the ground and keeps his lifeless still, to never ever seeing or breathe again. What? Peppermint Stick is dead.
Hideout!
It is.
You can't introduce.
I said it. I said snapped himself in half and died.
I know you did, but you can't do that. We all became emotionally attached to that idiot.
This is the truest story Hideout has ever told.
Fine.
Rescue Blade of Grass.
And so meanwhile, Blade of Grass stood in the nest with the bird creature
Please, oh
looking over
bird.
it, and it talked. But first, before birds speak, then the Blade of Grass spoke at length.
Please, oh bird, you're making me cry. Please, oh please, I don't want to die. You're a big bird. You've got lots of feathers. I come from a field with thistles and heather. I just want to be here with my friend. I don't want my life to end.
There's a little bit more to it.
There's a lot of material you can get out there. Things that don't talk or fly in the air.
You, so beautiful and green and perfect.
It's very nice of you to call me pretty, but the situation I'm in is kind of shitty.
The creature wanted a wife.
You will be my bride.
I think I'd rather be burned to a cinder, and plus, how can you even determine my gender?
Whatever you are, you will suit my purposes.
But of course, to make a wedding gown fit for a blade of grass, the great bird needed something white and able to wrap around the blade of grass. What would it be?
I see some bits of string writhing there on the ground. Yeah.
The bird dove in a majestic and grotesque way, picking up the pieces of string and cackling, and brought them back and flung them into the nest. The 3 pieces.
That shall be your wedding dress. Now I must prepare myself and preen my feathers and put on my wedding cap. And as the sun sets, we shall be wed, my darling.
Yes, and the great bird expected to be pleased that evening.
Hideout! What are you even saying?
I
don't know.
How would that even work?
Cookies, ice,
Yeah, cookies. Yes, he means
ice cookies.
Grass would make him cookies.
you, my friends, I'm pleased to see. But how did you come from 1 to 3?
I split myself to rescue you.
Also,
Oh,
Peppermint Stick is dead.
He snapped himself in half.
Oh, so much news. Whatever you're planning, let's do.
And so, string wrapped itself around Blade of Grass, and made a beautiful wedding dress. More beautiful. More beautiful, more embellishments. And a little bit of flair. That's great.
My friends, you are a beautiful dress. I'm warming up to this wedding, I confess.
Oh, rah!
Never mind.
Ravishing.
I don't like what I find.
Ravishing. What a beautiful bride.
Come closer, my sweet, and I'll give you a treat.
And at that moment, they had pulled half of the carcass of the dead peppermint out from where it had been hiding. And the bird smelled the sweet scent of it and thought it was a blade of grass. Oh, beautiful wife, what present have you brought me? Is that part of you?
Hideout, what the hell is going on?
Hideout?
What is this bird thing doing?
Hideout, have you gone into grandfather's ale?
Why is there a stick sticking out of this blade of grass? I think you're overtired.
Perhaps we should end the story now.
Yes,
and
I
go to
think the
bed.
story is
Okay, fine. It was just actually a peppermint stick then. And they took it and shoved it into the bird's mouth and said a rhyming thing that made sense with the story. Tied it all together.
Well, what did he say? Here, oh bird, take this stick. I hope you choke on it like a big, fat dick. Hideout!
How did I say that?
Hideout, yes you do. You're telling the story.
Hideout, there's too much vomit in this story.
Oh, there's not enough.
Bleeding out. And with that, peppermint stick came back.
What?
Came whole again. He
What?
had done a great brave task.
Oh, I did something good?
You tricked us.
I thought I was dead.
No,
I think I got dumber.
peppermint stick, you're back.
I'm back!
String wove itself back into one piece, but enjoyed being a dress and thought about it often after that point.
You've done so good, I don't think I have to rhyme anymore.
He did, though.
But I choose to because otherwise life would be a bore.
Come, let's go back to our nest and we'll put up a blanket over the top so the birds can't steal any of us.
Good idea.
And they lived happily ever after until they died. The end.
These stories have been very exciting.
I think that one was pretty good. Maybe the best.
Had a lot of elements I do approve of.
Death.
More blood and vomit and viscera than your typical story.
Yeah, I guess.
Although I was disappointed that the peppermint stick came back to life. For things which are dead
I said it was a happy story.
that we love do not come back.
Okay.
But we have
Tired.
memories of what was nice.
Memories.
Wake me up when it's time to go.
Can we have meat tomorrow?
Is meat? Did someone find meat?
Do you know all 12 names of the goats? Or have you forgotten one?
Sunshine, sunny side up, sundowner,
One's name is Cindy.
sunset,
Let's see.
sunny sun,
Just
sun,
this
sun.
once. I know that strange and mysterious death will come for all of us one day. But on this cold winter's night, I hope the spirits keep their distance, and that our little light in this deadly world will burn for just a little bit longer.
Flagging. We are PGraph. We perform here every Friday at 10 p.m. except next week when we'll be in Sarasota, Florida
You
doing
know anybody in Florida?
the show.
You know any grandparents in Florida?
It's mostly older. It really is like a crowd of mostly.
Sea of Gray.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's awesome, actually.
It's
Yeah.
quite good, but it's true.
You can learn all about everything we do at pgraph.com. The Hideout has 10 or 12 shows a week, including tomorrow. Tomorrow night is the debut of Kindness of Strangers, improvised Tennessee Williams plays. Very dark, very wonderful mid-century American drama, but improvised. So come see
funny
that
too.
in front.
And co-directed by Casey Beeler.
You can learn all about that at hideouttheater.com. If you're interested in taking improv classes, you can learn about that on our website.
Thanks to Migas for.
Yeah!
The tech booth.
Great job, Tech Booth!